And welcome. Yes, I'm here and complete. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Blender Today number 37. We are here, the last Blender Today of October. We are approaching the beta. It was the Blender conference last weekend. That's why my voice is still recovering. We are live, so please give me a thumbs up if everything is okay, and let's get to it. There's so much this week. I want to talk about the Blender conference. I met so many great people. I met many of you that watched this live stream, and it was such a very nice experience. Okay, thanks for the thumbs up. We also we have some great news regarding Blender cycles. There is Cryptomatte updates, like inclusion in Blender. It was added some time ago for like the node itself, but the output, like cycles couldn't output until like yesterday, that now it can. Then Eevee got new shadows, soft shadows, so that's also a very nice improvement. There is improvements in Grease Pencil got a new modifier and a time offset modifier. Remember, like in 2.4 days where you can slow animate, like offset the animation. That was pretty cool. It's back for Grease Pencil because Grease Pencil is so cool these days. We had so many great talks in during the Blender conference. There was talks by Daniel Martinez Lara. There was Jama. There was so many good things. So let's get to it. So everything is okay. Okay, one have no sound. Please check your settings. Everything should be fine, I hope. I started with the PlayStation 1 sound because, okay, off topic, nothing to do with the with the current topic, but there is but the PlayStation Classic came out, so yeah, completely unrelated, and I'm kind of sad that I cannot get it because, whoa, 27 questions in Blender today. Yeah, I cannot get it because I'm gonna be on holidays by then. But today I'm doing a little bit something a little bit different. One of the issues with the questions is that I don't manage to answer all of them. So I always ask you to ask here live, and some people start asking a bit earlier. So today what I did is just a half an hour ago I made a thread on Blender Today, because this is Blender Today live. And I posted the link to the video, and I asked people to ask the questions here. So I'm gonna reply these questions, and please give it a heart icon to those that you already want to know, so that way I can reply them from here. That way we make sure that we don't lose anything. And then when I'm done with these questions, I'm gonna jump to the ones that are live here, just so we get this a bit more organized, because sometimes the same question is like multiple times, or YouTube does weird things. So okay, let's get to it. It was a Blender conference first. First of all, so I wanna mention quickly which ones are my favorite talks. I had a great time. I had 3 days of Blender conference. That was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Plus there was the Open Studio Day yesterday, which I missed. I was away. I couldn't spend more another day, a bit sick. And it's like after 3 days of Blender conference, having an extra day at the studio, it's like, you know, when you go to a festival and then your friends say, hey, let's go to the after party. Well, something like that when with the last day of the conference. It's like so much fun, but it's so much that we can see everything online. It's a Blender YouTube channel is where we are uploading everything. Everything got uploaded actually here. It's in the Blender YouTube channel under playlists. A lot of people are asking why those videos do not show up. Why are they're not public on their like feed? It's because we are going to upload them one by one. They're already uploaded, but some of them need like to be re-edited a little bit, or just fix the audio. And but they are here. Like everything is here, basically everything. And maybe a few are, yeah, they were marked as private or deleted because they need to be re-uploaded. But everything should be here except the 1 or 2 that need some editing, and they will be marked as published. So they're gonna show up on your feed if you follow the Blender Foundation YouTube channel, the official one. then they will show up. But once it happened that by accident, my fault, published like 25 videos all at once, and then people were super mad because I published them all at once. But there were a few that were missing. Is the Blender developers asked me anything that was missing, and that was uploaded like just now, like recently, and it's a 1.5 hour Q&A, like this thing that we do now, but live. But anyway, my favorite talks were the Captain Disillusion. That was amazing. Please watch it. It's less than an hour, and it's if you don't know him, you should watch his videos, but you're gonna get an idea. He shows it talks about from like the Blender community, but from a different point of view, and it's just amazing. It's like a homage, and then he explains how he uses Blender, and it's just amazing. I'm not gonna spoil the end, but it involves amazingness. So Captain Disillusion, it was amazing. Then there was one from Jama about how to use Jama about how to use how he uses Grease Pencil, in like how it started with 2D, then 3D, and then he mixed both to make awesome and amazing stuff. The Spring team also had a meeting. Oh, they're using Blender for Comics by Paul. So many, I can't name them all. It's just oh well, and then Daniel Martinez Lara, also amazing with the future of animation and VR. There was a lot of VR this year. So okay, let's get to it. That's the Blender conference. The Suzanne Award videos were the introduction was made by Mitch, by the Mantisa. He uploaded all the videos I just noticed here in the Blender Cloud. So the 3D and everything here. Maybe you could have uploaded the video as well, because they're pretty nice. But here, if you want to see how everything is done here, it's check it out. It's the introduction to the Suzanne Awards. It's like particles and a Suzanne, but crazy colors and crazy Mitch. Check it out. It's on the Blender Cloud in the art gallery, Suzanne Awards, under Mitch Mantisa-Sinive. So let's move on. The other topics, let's get to Blender. Otherwise, I'm not gonna get enough time to show everything here. I have a demo file that it was prepared by Brecht using a file from Poke Studio. But first, okay, questions. Speaking of questions, there is a new blog post that was posted last week by Brecht in the Blender developers blog. So it covers basically where is the Blender 2.8 beta. It was posted the day before the Blender conference, so we can actually explain why the beta, because the beta was supposed to be released for the Blender conference. I already explained this in the live stream, so you guys know, but I wanted to we wanted to make it clear in a blog post, and also ask for your feedback. So the blog post is very short. You should check it out. You should read it, because it shows what's left for 2.8, what it needs to be, what is going to be addressed from now until the beta comes out, like a new key map, a user interface for collections. The Python API is going to be more stable than the image empty object, this feature that everybody is a big fan of, sarcasm, that replaces the background images. This should be also be worked on physics system and a subdivision surface with and multi-res with OpenSubdiv. All of these things we already know. If you're already following the live streams, then you know. But for example, little did we know that Cryptomatte was gonna be added like now, and it's not even mentioned here in the blog post, I think, as far as I know. But it was added. It was added. It managed to get through the review process, and it was added. So one of the big topics that is coming, that is for 2.81, 2.82, is the overrides, the interactive mode, and everything nodes. But that you already know if you follow these live streams. Just like David, who met me at the Blender conference. He came from France, and he said, "Hey, I know you like I'm from France, and I know you like IPA. So he brought me a French IPA. So I told him I was gonna do a cheer for him. So thank you very much that people are actually watching this. You know, I'm not just alone in my room at my apartment. It's actually real people. And if I get sick, now you guys know who is the person that did it. Cheers. Next, what is next is that the asset management, the override, that we know that it's gonna be moved. But for example, Cryptomatte wasn't even planned to be here, and it is here, and that's amazing. A big part of this blog post is that the feedback, we are looking for your feedback. So if you had to order in priorities, what would you prioritize for Blender, for the coming Blender? Not 2.80 because we are like super tight with time, we're super close to 280, but development continues. 281 is coming. The Blender Development Fund is doing great. It's if you haven't checked it out already, please do. This has grown so much. Since last week it was 7,000, now it's 9,000. So it is pretty interesting. Then that the community is actually interested in this, so it's so nice. So the feedback that we are looking for is mainly about priorities. So if you had to choose, what would you prioritize? For example, Blender to work better, to have better texture painting or sculpting tools. So if you're really into sculpting, like mention it here in the blog post, I will, for those that are watching live, I'm gonna leave the link here. It's on the code blog, so it's the latest post. For example, Eevee, would you prefer better Eevee features, or would you rather have a better performance on big scenes, or better interoperability with other software? That word took a little bit to mention. Interoperability. So would you make it work better with other softwares? For example, Houdini, like OpenVDV support, or would you make it work better with Nuke, with Cryptomatte? Oh well, Cryptomatte is there already. So I think someone mentioned it. Yes, someone's priority was that. Another person, and they are all here. So actually that is pretty good news for a lot of people. So really happy that this managed to get in, and we're gonna see a demo in a minute. Other news, Eevee got much improved soft shadow. So basically the jittered, I have a jitter soft shadow map in Eevee. It's pretty straightforward basically, and it matches cycles a little bit, except if you don't have, you have to have enough samples for that though. But it's very nice. Then multi-object editing keeps the light keeps working on it, and other developers too. They're adding patches and they're basically making it work all over the board. I think it's the clock's ticking, and they want the feature to be as ready as possible for the beta release. So it means that you can use for example, in this case, you can have two lattices and just edit them in edit mode, and then you can just work with them together. Yeah, it doesn't look impressive, but it's more impressive than you think. Then what else? Actually, I didn't check if I am up to date. Let's see, git pull. I am already up to date because it's Blender today, not Blender yesterday, Blender 2 hours ago. Then Cryptomatte support, we're gonna see it. Rigify add-on. There is a talk about Rigify on the Blender Conference 2018 list. So check it out. I saw it live. It's just amazing. So you should check it out. It's a if you go to the youtube.com/Blender Foundation, then under playlists, I'm gonna leave the playlist here. I'm gonna check, and it's beautiful playlist, and then Rigify. There you go. Rigging with Rigify. It's a 1-hour workshop, so you can follow along. You can see how it's done, and I learned so much with it because it's okay. Audio don't cut. Okay, cool. You learn how it's split in parts. it's just how does it work. I didn't know exactly how it worked. I knew it was awesome, but basically he does a demo live. He even rigs an arm live, and it's just amazing. You should check it out. It's a rigging with Rigify on the Blender Conference playlist. Next, then new time offset modifier. Yes, so remember in Blender 2.4 there was I think it's in the object and relation extras or animation extras, I think. Slow parent, it had an offset, yeah, but it wasn't exactly that. In the 2.4 times there was an option for that. In Blender 2.8 now, if you open, for example, a file like a grease pencil file, so you have your object, and you know objects can have modifiers in Blender 2.8. Grease pencil modifiers can have objects in 2.8. So for example, if you duplicate it, you can add a modifier called time offset. It already has an icon. Nice. And this time offset modifier, you can specify in frames how much you want it. You can have a specific fixed frame, reverse, or normal. The normal one is the easy one. So for example, here this loop is 50 frames long. So if I set my frame offset to 25, I'm making one jump and the other jump after. So if I make it again, and let's make it like 50 divided by 3, and then I can have all three jumping at the same time. So imagine if you have like fire, like a fire animation, or like a tree moving, the leaves moving around, then you would have the nice motion, and it will look like you did a lot more work that you actually did. So you can be lazy. Isn't it that amazing? So the cool thing about this feature is that you can limit to certain parts of the by layer, so you can have multiple modifiers that affect different layers. So with that you gain a lot more control, because yeah, you can just basically offset different parts of your drawing even more. So pretty nice. Like if, for example, if you have like sparkles or like splash or fire or fireworks, yes, the options are endless. So very nice work, Antonio Vasquez. Let's see what else. Grease pencil layers can be filtered by view layer for compositing. Yes, that's another new feature for compositing. Per view layer, you can set which layers you're gonna use. So it's really nice for actual compositing of your grease pencil on top of Eevee, for example, or cycles, whatever you want to do. What else? Then the instance modifier, now it's called array. The naming, I mean, it could be an array, because array, instance, isn't it similar? Maybe we should rename everything to instances, but basically it works the same as an array modifier. So it's more in tune with the rest. Let's see, everything is okay. Yes, please. What about the new Blender Game Engine? I'm gonna get to you in a minute, but the good news in a nutshell is that the interactive mode already started. So the system with the logic and everything in Blender has already started. It's gonna take a year at least, but it should be feasible. Gracias, Nicolas, for the thumbs up. So weird to see people that I've seen on the Blender conference just like a couple days ago. So let's see what's more. Okay, I went through everything. Is it time to see Cryptomatte? Yes, it is. There is documentation though, and this file, I happen to have it right here. It was set up, this one here from Pog Studio, the one that was a splash some time ago. I have it here. There is some information here in the release logs. This week, I want my personal goal is to update the blender.org/features page. So I want to basically change this page and update it to 2.8. So when we release the beta, is the best test beta, the awesomest beta ever. I want to. And then I would also like to update this page. So it would say it's like create, I don't know, something cool. What can we do here? Give me ideas. Because people should still be able to download to 79 easily, but all the attention should be to the beta. So maybe like a little message here or something. Could be fun. We still have to decide what to use as a splash screen. So interesting. I think for the splash screen, since it's the beta, it's not like an official release, we could take the chance to promote the development fund. I think that will be a good push, because a lot of people are going to see the beta. So maybe it could be something related to this. We could ask some artists to make special image for this. Oops, sorry, I killed you if you were wearing headphones. Well, next I will check the Cryptomatte. Bam. Let's get to it. So Cryptomatte. Let's Cryptomatte. No, not the kind of mate that I drink, that Argentinians drink, and Uruguayans and Chileans. Cryptomatte is the ability to basically, you know, pass index in Blender, that you in the object settings you can specify under relations, a pass index. So you choose an index, it's a number, and then in the compositor you choose a pass index node, and then you convert it to a value. So basically you have like a mask of that. Well, imagine if that would be automatic, if everything will have like every object will have a pass, or every node could have a pass. Every material could have a pass. So this is enabled for cycles for the time being. I asked around if Eevee could get it in the future, and technically it is possible. So let's cross our fingers, but technically it seems to be possible. That was the first thing that I asked to developers. So it should be possible. I'm gonna make a crappy render here so I can manage to render this without killing my internet, my computer. All right, so I render all of these three things. Do I have the Cryptomatte pass? No, because you have to enable it. It's under the view layer settings, or the past later render layer settings. It's in the passes panel here at the bottom. It might in the future become like a sub panel, so it's a bit better organized, and if you're not using it you can collapse it, but for the time being it's here at the bottom. The way to activate it, basically you just activate whatever you want to enable. So if you want the per object or per material, then you can do so. There is an option also to do it per asset, which asset is a new word in Blender, right? It's not something we use. It's not a Blender thing, but it's a Cryptomatte thing. This is a standard, and it's used in other softwares. For example, you can use it in Nuke or in other softwares, and the word asset comes from this standard from Cryptomatte. Blender still doesn't have an asset manager, but in the future maybe we could reuse this. But basically it means every object will have a pass, or every material will have a pass, or every asset. Asset is like a collection of objects that belong to the same. For example, if you have a character that you linked, well, that is one asset, because everything is parented to one object. Then the other settings basically is like the resolution, how many objects per pixel. Breck told me to just keep this number just as it is, and the accurate mode as well. It uses a bit more memory, but it's a bit more accurate. So I wouldn't touch those. So let's see a quick example with the object. Once you render, you don't see anything either, because the magic happens in the compositor. So if you go to the compositing workflow, workspace, use the nodes, you will see that the render layer that I just rendered has now 3 new outputs. So there is Crypto Object 0, 2, and 4. Weird, right? Yeah, it's a bit weird. But fear no more. If you actually connect this, if you want to see what's connected to these outputs, then you won't see much. You will see like outlines and or nothing at all. That's because you need a specific node for controlling this, which is called the Cryptomatte node. Yes, easy to guess. Let's see, for example, let's connect all three. So basically then the inputs and outputs are the same. So you can connect the ones for the object here, all the three, and the image you can, or you can just not connect it. It's the same basically. But you will see that if you click on matte, nothing. But if you preview what's in PIC, you can actually see already a bit of the magic. Every object has a different color. It means that you could just basically use this as is, like just pick the color and use it as a mask, or you could even make your own masks from here, your own mattes, by clicking this nice interface, to say the least, matte object. So you can basically add or remove from your matte, from your mask, or kind of. This down here is where you could insert the names, but that's crazy. Nobody's going to insert the names because they're IDs. There's like weird hashes. So to make it easy, you can just click on add, and then you can choose which object to add from here, from the background. You can also do it from the image editor here. If you have it down here, you can just preview, for example, the viewer node in this case, and you could say, okay, remove this button and then add the monkey. So I added the monkey. Let's add the sphere as well, and let's preview what the matte says. So here, the image is actually showing, I don't know if it's clear there, this the monkey and the sphere, but not the cube. The matte shows a black and white image to use as a matte, for example, and the PIC shows again all the colors. Let's see with a nicer example, the one from Poke Studio. This used to be the splash screen back in which version? Some versions ago. That image, this is the image. I don't know if you remember, and it's amazing. It's by Poke Studio. This is rendered out as an EXR. That's why it renders so fast. This is not the actual file. It's just an EXR that you save and export as a multi-layer, just the way you do it usually. And this will carry all the passes, including, in this case, the Cryptomatte passes. So if we see it here, we can see the image, the matte, nothing, and in PIC is all the fancy colors. So here, for example, if I want to change the color of this dude, if it's too pink, maybe. There's no such thing as too pink, but let's imagine that it's too pink. I'm gonna preview here the PIC. The setup is exactly the same. It has all the passes with the 3 crypto objects here, and then 3 connected to the Cryptomatte node. And if I select, for example, the guy down here, we can see that my render result, which is connected to the image output of the Cryptomatte, has the guy. So with this, I could just take the matte output, maybe connect it through a, for example, if I want to change the color, I could do the hue correct and take the image, use as a factor the matte output of this node, and then let's see how it looks. Let's change, for example, the saturation of the pink, and then there, I'm making it super pink, or no pink at all. This is a crime. To remove pink from something is a crime. So basically, you see what happens. I just took the original image, I created this matte just by adding objects, and then I use it as a factor for this node. Awesome. So from here, I can just keep adding. So for example, I also want to tweak the color of the arm. I was missing the arm. So okay, add, and I just click on the arm, and it was added, right? Or not? I think it was. And then the arm. It wasn't added. Because I have to do it when I am in PIC here. Okay, that's silly. Maybe that we could make it so it will also allow you to click when you're in the render. That would be nice. So now it works. Actually, now I can see the preview, and now I'm changing the color of all the things. Let's see if I can add this candy too. I have to go to the pick and then add, and then click on the candy, and then I can see here what is the mat. Nice. Maybe to ease it, I could have another viewer that is connected to the mat, just so I see here viewer node, and then here I could see the final result, and the final result can be the actual image. So nice. Maybe can I select from here? No, I need the pick. So I can pick from here, and then I add the objects from here, and it starts changing the rest of the like let's pick that wheel, change the wheel, and that's how it works. So basically you can make masks and mats automatically from objects and from materials, from anything. Isn't this amazing? It works really well. It works with motion blur even. Oh, this was the actual file. I didn't know. I thought it was just the render. Wow, this is pretty light. Only 80 megabytes. Awesome. Did you know that this file actually should be available? Demo files. Yes, it is available here. It's a racing car from 277. There you go. 20 megabytes only. Poke Studio. You can download it from blender.org/download. Go to the bottom where it says demo files, and then here you can find it. Or just Google for demo files. All right, so it can mask by materials also. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. So, okay, I'm not gonna do it in this, just in case, in this file, because I think my computer is not gonna handle it nice. But for example, let's do it super quick. So let's say this is one material. Assign this material. Oh, if you have seen the Captain Disillusion, he has a very nice point about Blender's assignment for materials. So okay, I'm adding a third material here. So okay, there's these 3 materials now assigned. I'm going to render in cycles. I'm going to lower the samples because I want it to be fast and make it smaller, and enable Cryptomatte. But in this case, I'm going to enable Cryptomatte for material, and then I render, and in the compositing settings, I should see the Cryptomaterial. If I search for Cryptomatte, and then I connect these 3 guys. I tried connecting it fast with like F, but it doesn't know yet. So maybe that will be a nice improvement to press F and then connect them automatically. So, okay, I have, yes, this is now my Cryptomatte. And if I, for example, make another face here, face in, this should be my, and here, let's make another one. And then I apply this other material, number 2. So now if I re-render, I should see in the compositing, there you go, my passes. Awesome. This is amazing, because then you can do really weird, crazy mixes of stuff here. Amazing. So really, really nice. Finally, Blender can work better with other softwares, because this is a standard. This is very used all over the place. With like Nuke has it. So pretty nice. All right, let's get to the questions. Otherwise, I'm not gonna make it. There's 20. What? How many questions? 44 questions. Eek. Okay, guys. I'm gonna need some time to make my mind. Maybe it wasn't the best idea. All right. So first question. Xenox says, if you guys reach the fun goal and beyond, and more studios get interested in 2.8, like tangent animation. Yeah, by the way, this Cryptomatte option was encoded. It was coded by Stefan from Tangent Animation. I think Lucas Stockner also had a patch for it, but it's basically an effort mainly about Tangent Animation, the ones that made Next Gen for Netflix, the Netflix movie. It's contributing, the awesome people at Tangent are contributing to Blender with actual code, and not only code, because they're also in the code quest, in the Blender 2.8 code quest. Let's not forget that they were main patrons actually, like they supported big time, and especially with development. That's just amazing. So thank you, Tangent Animation, you're awesome. Canadians, of course they are nice. Also, the name Eevee isn't trademarked by Nintendo. Eevee, all caps, is not. Eevee means it's not for the Pokemon, of course not. Of course, it's Eevee means extremely efficient viewport. I forgot the other E. K Durer says, help, I can familiarize myself with the new icons. It will take time, but we will get through it. And there is so much work to be done. The version that we are, the Blender version here, this is not the latest. There are new icons. For example, the world icon is new. I like this one much better. And there has been more new icon. Wow, the collections is like a box. I haven't seen this one. Interesting. And the render is like a DSLR. Okay. Let's change the particles one next. I'm not completely big fan. It looks like a ray tracing instead of a particle, right? It's not like a bouncing something. I don't know. Yeah, I think the development of the icon should happen here in the Blender 2.8. I know there is also a thread in Blender Artist, but I think the actual development should happen in the in here, because just to keep it more centralized in one place, because that's where the developers are hanging out as well too. So okay, how safe is it to use 2.8 right now? Has the Spring team had much trouble? It is. I think it's safe to use 2.8 now. Of course, always back up your files, but I think now it's safe-ish to use it. There will be crashes, of course, because it's just we're only using a part of it. We're not using all the weird blank cases that people use. But the Spring team, the worst bug that the Spring team had, it was also in 2.7, and it was in 2.78, 2.77 for years. It's been there. It's the worst bug we had. It was related to the copy attributes add-on. No, sorry, the copy objects to buffer add-on. So basically, if you were in post mode and you tried to copy an object, it would break your file. Because, well, or you paste by mistake something, that it will mess the path of your libraries. So that's terrible. The next time you save and you open the file again, it will break everything. All the paths will be broken. And Hjalti especially, and Pablico, the other art animator at the studio, they were having issues because, yeah, it was an issue basically. So that bug is fixed in 2.8, so no worries. But if you're using 2.79, do not press Ctrl+C for copying if you're in post mode. Just don't do it. There is a bug, so don't do it, and it will mess your library path. You're warned. Next, Setcorp says, hey Pablo, I want to say big thanks. Thank you. Active tools work this way. Thank you. This is for Campbell, Willem. My question, can you please keep the manipulator display all the time? Yes, I would like to, actually. I would like to just make that one change, that the manipulators can be on all the time. Just like in 2.7, that they can be on all the time, independent of what the options are used. I think we should change that. What is the latest update on Everything Notes, and what exactly is the scope of them? Everything Notes, there you can watch basically Everything Notes is a way in the blog there is a little bit of a talk. It's a project to make Blender's animation, particles, and modeling toolset more powerful. So basically Everything Notes is really literally everything nodes. You could model like procedurally with nodes. You can build your own thing with nodes. You can animate with nodes, of course, animation nodes. You could do particle systems. You could do physics. You could do anything with nodes. You could do even modifier nodes. It's not going to be all at once. The idea is to make the foundations and then approach each system on its own. So texture nodes and modifier nodes, they will all be, I think, popping up. I think so. in independent versions. So 281 might have the first ones, 282 have more, and that until everything it becomes a node. Of course, the idea is that the interface stays as simple as possible, but yes. Would I be able to displace terrain with texture noises and then run a simulation? Yes, you will. Is interactive primitive creation of the table? Is the interactive primitive creation of the table now? It was once on the roadmap to make. Yeah. I think with that one, the add cube. What you mean is this one. So if you have a plane that is like this, then you could create a cube, and you could basically have this. In theory, you should align to it. I'm not using the normal. No, I'm doing something wrong here, but basically this is the interactive creation of primitives that you can do it. I think the other ones are not hard to do. I think I heard Campbell saying that the other ones are not hard to do, but there's so many other things right now that if any developers are interested, I think it's just a matter of checking how the add cube works, and it should be fairly easy to do interactive primitive creation for the rest. Here, Obsidian Gesture says, will flip fluids or something similar be added to Blender? Mantaflow is going to be added to Blender, but it's being pushed to 281. It's up for review, but it's a bit late now. We're only a couple of weeks left, but it will be added to 281 for sure. And Mantaflow is just amazing. I think we all know how amazing it is, but in case you don't, just look up. Just basically look up any amazing demo out there. It's just awesome. So yeah, you can do all kinds of things. So super cool that it will be added soon. I think there is a flip fluid add-on out there. Another question: will lamps measure brightness values in lumens or watts? No, in none. I think right now it's none of them. I think it used to be one of them, but not anymore. I asked Clement why does Cycles and Eevee have different intensities like in the lights, and I got the answer that is because Cycles is wrong. So we just need to fix that one. But would it be nice? Wouldn't it be interesting if you open all of your Cycle files and the lights were different? So should we do it? Should we don't? Another question. Official Blend Share says, how about local view to isolate object? It's not been implemented yet. I have to check with the developers. It's going to be part of this now or what or when. But basically, for the time being, you can do a Shift H, which would hide everything else but the objects that you have selected, which is a kind of a similar approach. And then you can basically just Alt H to unhide it. But when you do it, you will see that in the outliner, it hides everything except the objects that you had selected. So it is a similar approach, but it's not exactly the same, I know. So that's why we should check if it's back. Look at the check, guys. Hey, so Pablo drinking milk. Yes, I did. Awesome. It was great to meet you. Dorian says, do you think a collab with Jack's Look and the guys from the Sverchok add-on will be possible? Let's let Jack's Look do its magic. I think he has a lot under its. Of course, collab would be awesome, and Jack's Look already has a big project with everything now. So if the guys from Sverchok want to join, they should. Blender is an open development. Will developers add a depth value to the subsurface scatter node? I haven't heard of that. Could we see the appropriate image of a concerned selected object in the image editor like you did in your plugin? Could we see the appropriate image of a concerned selected object? In my Amaranth add-on, you mean that double click to see the image of that selected node? That would be pretty cool actually. I would love to add that to Blender itself. That would be amazing. I have to check how to do it, like where to edit. Hi Pablo, is right click select as default already, or is it still being decided? By the user interface pitch at the conference, it seems like it's not decided. Right click select as default already. Oh, not the website, you mean, not the community. The right click is, it is default, and I think it's gonna stay default. The idea is that it will be easier. It should be easier. It should be like an interface when you open Blender for the first time that will allow you to sound gone again. No, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up. There should be an option in the splash screen. Sorry, I got distracted. In the splash screen, that will allow you to change between left or right click select just more easily for new users. Okay, thank you thank you Nico for the thumbs up. Ad Cariton says, I don't know if this is inappropriate for Blender today, but how's the light doing with the situation in Brazil? I hope it's doing great. Brazil has a new president, if you didn't know. It's not the nicest president, it seems, but let's hope it gets better. Hi Pablo, you're from UI. Could you take a look at this? Improved Windows Manager. This is a small addition to the way we handle window management. Oh yeah, the way they get stuck. Yeah, after the collision, yeah, that would be nice. It's not an easy way. The layout system in Blender is not very easy. We need more developers, but it will be great. I'm not a big fan that you have to like unstop the editors. Just like when you have like two editors, for example, here, that you can't go further. Yeah. Maybe we could ask Campbell. He has so many things on his plate though. But he added, I don't know if you know, but he added control. So if you hold control, you can snap the size of the windows, the editors, when you change it. And maybe since he looked into that, maybe he could look into the other option. Could we have more manipulation option for the new toolbar replace their header? Maybe keep everything related to the old info header. Could we have more manipulation options for the new toolbar? This one. Or the one that it gets replaced. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but now the header actually gets replaced. So if you're in the texture paint, you can have the texture paint options, and if you're in layout, you can actually have all the layout stuff. So if you're editing, you're doing whatever options here, you can have it. If you go to sculpting, then you have all the sculpting tools. And if you're texture paint, shading, well, shading we don't have it, but yeah, the idea is that every editor or every workspace can replace a header instead of being just global like it used to be before. I'm not going off screen, I'm just drinking without making sound on the microphone. Let's see, LaPCML said 2 questions. Why does Blender community show my email prefix as the full name and I can't change it? You should be able to change it. It's in your settings, and in your settings you should be able to change your username here. If you want to change more, you should change it at your Blender ID, I think. Let me know if it doesn't work. Is anything like non-din topo? Or please let me know which one is the name that you want, and we can fix it. Is anything like non-dynamic topology and multi-resolution sculpt layers planned? Yeah, I think there's a developer that wants to work on that stuff. It's in the dev talk forum, I think, but it's not to be included anytime soon. Could we have an active visual history panel like Photoshop as a tab properties? So basically you want the edit and the history. So something like this, right? Like this, but as a panel. That's a good idea, and it should be super simple for an add-on to do. So maybe we could put it, where would you put it? In the tool settings maybe? Or where would you put it? Let me know. Maybe the N? No, because it should be global. Where? Then Is it possible to add render at cursor mode, like in Modo? Will it ever be able to rotate the object with circle selection mode? I had render at cursor, like in Modo. I don't know how Modo does, but render at cursor, is it like when you press F12 that it follows the, I think V-Ray has it. It follows the mouse? Maybe an add-on could do that. Will it ever be able to rotate the object with circle selection mode? So for example, if you are in edit mode, proceed to select the circle and then move around. Yes, you can't rotate, but if you use the awesome new selection circle as a tool, then you can rotate actually. So you can actually select, rotate, select, select. So maybe you can just change the shortcut, or we could just change the shortcut to make it. The thing is that it's not a modal. You see, you can still do everything. The other tool is modal actually, so it doesn't let you do anything else. But it could be a way to fix it. OMG Zenek says, does 2.8 support backface culling? I know it works in the viewport, but I can't make it work on render. Backface culling. No, for rendering you can disable. No, I mean for in the mesh settings, like normals, you can. No, because you still have double-sided. No, not that I know. Compositing or with the face direction node maybe, but no, not like a one button thing, that as far as I know. The cool thing about using Blender today is that people can jump in and answer the questions that I don't manage to answer, so thank you. What is the latest update on everything nodes? I just mentioned this. Is there any chance that we'll be able to write EXR images with Cryptomatte metadata? Yes, that is the metadata, hash, manifest, conversions, and name. Maybe it shouldn't be too hard to add, but yeah, but basically you can write EXR images if you save them as output multi-layer, OpenEXR multi-layer, that way. Where can I watch the stream again? And well, will you upload to YouTube channel? I always upload immediately. I don't do anything. The only thing that I do is to, as soon as YouTube lets me, is to cut the beginning when there's it's a bit too long. What is Amber? Amber is the name of the asset manager. Basically, the asset manager in Blender, the new one, it's like an API for building as many asset managers as you want. One asset manager could be an asset list on Blender Cloud, for example. Another asset manager could be a local system. Another could be your friend's project, computer, whatever. So basically, the asset manager in Blender, which is already coded, it just needs an interface mainly and fixing and ticking. It's a more than just one asset manager. It's many. It can be tweaked as really a lot. Can be online, offline. Super awesome. And Amber is the name that it was given to the demo asset manager, the one that will be included in Blender. But there is another asset manager that connects you to Blender Cloud that it was written. It's pretty cool. Will the fixes and volume step banding be done in 2.8? Then scattering volumes need fixes. They will. I don't. 2.80 no, but 2.81 maybe, or maybe they will be, because actually the Spring Open Movie project will use volumes a lot. Basically, there are lots of clouds and smoke, so there should be. I bet there will be. So it will be 3D. Hello Pablo, any plans to update the paint skin weights? I really suffer when I do it in Blender. Would be awesome to have a volume paint around the cursor, so you don't accidentally paint any other part of the geometry. Paint skin weights. Volume paint around the cursor. Huh. I'm not sure I follow, so I actually need to paint another. Not sure. But it would be basically like masking, maybe. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar. Hey Pablo, are there any news on the local view? I just mentioned, can you add icons on the tabs? I don't think it's possible right now, but the idea is that it will be possible, so add-ons can have their own Judy says, the 2.8 viewport shading options are exciting, but there have been so many changes over the last few months that I can't keep track of it all. Can you please clarify what's the purpose of the OpenGL renderers? Why would you use it instead of solid mode? Clay and Workbench changing features got merged into the viewport shadings. Why would you use LookDev instead of the Eevee render viewport? I could make a whole video about it, but basically let's see if I can open a file that already has this. So the purpose of the OpenGL renderer is if you want to render OpenGL render, like just like you do it, it's exactly the same. It will render whatever it's in the viewport, whatever you have in the viewport will be rendered. So that is like the purpose of that one. Then, for example, if I render this exactly, I just change to OpenGL render, and then when I see the render, it's gonna be like this, whatever is in the viewport. So, for example, if I'm a big fan of like matcaps, I could render with a matcap. So I can set everything to use whatever matcap I want, and it will be applied. Why isn't it applied to everything? Or is it still loading? Probably it's still loading. Yes, there you go. I just broke everything. Nice. So basically when you OpenGL is a Workbench engine basically, which allows you to render whatever is in the viewport with the settings that you have in the viewport. So if you like random colors and you want to render this as an F12 render, like just to set it to the farm, you can. That's the ability. So you can set up your file to be rendered with an OpenGL render. Eevee instead is the full-on render basically. So you have wireframes, you have solid, then you have LookDev. LookDev is it's very similar to render. If you're using Eevee, it's very similar basically. The reason why would you use one against the other is that if you want to for example, render is gonna be exactly how you render with like F12. You're gonna see that if you're using Eevee. If you go to the LookDev, what you're going to be able to change is that you can turn off the lights. You can turn off a different world. You can change the HDR. You can change the lighting without affecting the final result. So you can test your shaders in different lights, which is awesome, because it means that when you go to F12, you still have everything, you haven't lost anything, but in the LookDev, you can test your shaders with anything you want, basically, with the lights, without the lights, with the scene world, without. We can enable the background, you can do crazy stuff here, without actually affecting your final render. So for example, if you're sharing a character with other people in a team, we can all have like a collection of HDRs to test that everything works fine without actually affecting the final render of your scene, which is pretty neat, I think. And if you're using cycles, then LookDev will be the closest you can get to cycles, but using Eevee under the hood. But yeah, when using Eevee, it's a bit confusing what is what, but if you use cycles, you will tell the difference, because the preview is like very close, but it's way faster because it's Eevee under the hood. So yeah, that is why. Next question about nerfs. Will there be real nerfs in Blender? I don't think so, because it's so old and nobody has touched that. I think there are more chances that we get a new video sequence editor than nerfs being updated in Blender. How can I use a video clip on Eevee? You can't at the moment, I'm sorry. It's not implemented yet. Community feedback in survivorship bias. It is survivorship bias. The logical error of concentrating on the people or things that made it past some selection process. This can lead to false conclusions in several different ways. Huh. Interesting. Well, we want mainly to know what the priorities are, just to check, if that's what you mean. Brad Layer says, Pablo, I think I have a bug report, or perhaps it hasn't been done yet. So after you create a particle system, assign an object, then play a bit and try to convert the mesh modifier. The convert button is there, but nothing. After you create a particle system, assign an object, then play with it, convert to mesh. The particle system needs so much work. I would advise you to wait a couple of weeks until we are out of beta, so you can report the bug and see if it's still broken there. All right, I finished all here. I bet if I update the website, now there is 44 questions. If I update, I'm gonna okay, I got exactly 6 more. Maybe I managed to answer a few. Can the Warp Engine have mesh opacity? Yes. Retopop, I couldn't find. Yes, you can with the X-ray. No per object, no. Is there a piece where I can see how many vertices have it removed when I use remove doubles? Yes, actually. It's at the bottom. So if you remove doubles, then you see remove 0 vertices. It's down here at the bottom. It should blink. I think I'm gonna cut it here. I already answered as much as I could. Too bad that I didn't manage to answer all of the questions and I didn't get to answer the questions live, but at least maybe let me know if this is a better system. I hoped that it wouldn't be so many questions and I won't manage to answer the questions here. Actually, Arjun, you asked a question. Wow, did I missed this one? Sorry. Thank you, Arjun. Did you ask a question? I click on it and nothing happens. Oh my gosh, I completely missed it. I completely missed it. Okay. I hope you can answer your questions, but I click on it and nothing happens. So probably it wasn't a question. Maybe, I don't know if you can upload without a question. Like, no. I'm sorry, I didn't get to see that. I didn't see it blinking. I was so focused on this. I will get to geez, it's so weird to see myself here. Okay, it's on Blender today, by the way, this question. I will get to answer this maybe later. I will try my best. Otherwise, let me know how this works. Did it work? Is it better or not? I think it's better in a way because people can vote for their favorite questions and then we see which ones are the more popular ones. But because sometimes there are a few too many duplicate questions here. I hope everything else that I covered you liked. It's just the crypto, it's just amazing. I'm gonna make a video, a shorter video. If you missed it, check out tomorrow the let's see, the Blender developers YouTube channel, and I will be posting a video right there. So I hope everything is fine. Sega is the music that I Sega, actually not Sega, but the one from Sonic is the one that I use in the Spanish live stream that I'm gonna start in 50 minutes in another YouTube channel called Blender Hoy, for all Spanish speaking people. For everyone else that has been here, thank you so much. Thank you for joining and thank you for saying hi at the Blender conference. It just was amazing to see you all, to see you in person, to see you that, hey, I watched you Blender today in the morning when I have coffee, or during the week, or when I'm working, I put it on the side. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. I'm really happy with this. I hope I can continue doing it, and if I go on holidays, I hope I can get someone to do it, or I can find the internet at least to do it. Maybe if I do like questions like this, I managed to do it offline, like put it on Blender today, maybe I can do it offline. But it's been great. I had a great time. I managed to get my voice here. I managed to use my Blender conference t-shirt. Yes. I will see you again in the next. Let's hope this works. I don't know if it's gonna work now, the music, because last time I didn't. I hope it does. Let's see if it works. I don't think it's gonna work. I'm gonna put the music that we always go in the Spanish community meeting and the Blender conference. When we finished the community meeting, someone Antonio played the music from this music that we always play on the phone, so it was amazing. Anyway, Koi, I had to go. please subscribe if you like this kind of content, and share it with your friends and with your family and with your neighbors and everyone if you want to keep seeing this. It's really nice. And we're like 8,000, I don't know how many. It's insane. It's crazy. I will see you again in the next week. Let's hope it works. I hope it's working. I will check in a bit. Bye bye. Good night, everyone. I will see you again. Same place, same time next week. Ciao.